And the talk you love is always streaming on the Odyssey, iHeartMedia, or TuneIn apps. Just search for KDAWN in Las Vegas.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the #1 professional wrestling radio show in Las Vegas. This is the Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Going bell to bell with the best in professional wrestling news, entertainment, and lots of Sin City surprises from inside the squared circle. Now, let's get to all the exciting pro wrestling action and bring on the host. Here is Mark Hoke.
Good morning, Las Vegas. What's going on? Welcome to the Mark Hoke Show here on KDAWN 1015 FM, the talk of Las Vegas. Also streaming on the Odyssey app, AUDACY. Get that app and listen to all of our great stations. 220 of them, as a matter of fact. And, of course, we are live streaming the show on X, YouTube, and Facebook, which might be an amusing place to be today, as I am really sick. I probably look like a pile of goo right now, but, man, we can't miss a show, especially after WrestleMania and with everything that's been going on this week. It has been insane. So please bear with me today, guys. My voice is half shot, and, but we'll do our best. Well, we do have an exciting show for you lined up. We're going to be hearing later on this hour from Kendal Gray of NXT. Of course, she is a Las Vegas native and got a chance to sit down with her earlier this week. And then hour 2, we're going to be joined by Terrell Yelder from PW Insider. That's going to be a lot of fun. He's a very interesting cat. And we'll look forward to talking to Terrell, and hopefully he'll be able to save my voice a little bit in hour number 2. So looking forward to that one. But boy, what a wild finish to WrestleMania for us last week. Of course, we were on the day after day 1, but really didn't get a chance, obviously, to check out day 2 because it was, later in the day. So what happened? Well, a much better day than day 1, that's for sure. Whereas day 1 hampered by complaints about ads. A lot of the matches were shortened. And now we can say, what the hell was that ending in the main event again? Now we can say it because Pat McAfee is gone. You bring him in with 2 or 3 weeks to go already from TKO wanted to make him a superstar, a movie star, action hero. Okay, well, probably shouldn't have done it at the expense of, screwing up another main event. And Cody's been going off about this. He is, you feel like they're going to be setting something up here because you normally don't get to complain about your bosses on national television that much, but he did it again this week. Just saying, hey, TKO, stop screwing with my matches. It's been 3 years now. 3 years. First time around, WrestleMania 40, where The Rock wanted Rock and Roman. And Cody said, no. No, I'm finishing my story. Thank you very much. And, of course, John Cena getting inserted into the main event last year with Cody, along with Travis Scott and The Rock, because Ari Emanuel and the guys didn't like how many tickets they sold for Elimination Chamber. So they said, do something fun and completely screw up everything for WrestleMania. And then this year, the interjection of Pat McAfee. And I don't blame Pat. Pat's a good dude. Pat actually cares about pro wrestling. He wanted to do it right. But the irony is that he is completely pulled away now, because the plans were you were going to have Randy and Pat take on Jelly Roll and your guy Cody Rhodes at Backlash. That's out the window. I don't know, man. That whole disaster And I can't wait to talk to Terrell because he wasn't happy with the ending. But we come back to day 2. And day 2 was fun. It was. Obafemi knocks off Brock Lesnar. And there's rumors going around that this Brock was like, no, this is good. I'm finished. Instead of having to screw around a little bit. And after Femi knocked him off, and it was a 5-minute match. Well done. Lesnar takes his gear off and his shoes and leaves them in the ring, which is symbolic of a wrestler retiring. So Brock Lesnar, not sure if he's totally done yet, but that means we're at least close. We'll see if they decide to drag him out a little bit more. Penta wins a very fun ladder match to retain his Intercontinental title. So he knocks off Javon Evans, Dragon Lee, JD McDonough, Rusev, and Rey Mysterio. As expected, Trick Williams with Lil Yachty by his side knocks off Sami Zayn. He is the new U.S. champion. Gingerbread Man thing didn't go too well on SmackDown, though, did it? Whoops. As Sami managed to get a Gingerbread Man suit and beat up Trick. Finn Balor as the Demon knocks off Rey Mysterio. Rhea Ripley beats Jade Cargill. And Rhea and Jade did a really nice job. It was a make or break for Jade Cargill, and I thought she performed very well. And then Roman Reigns, in about a half-hour match, dumps CM Punk, and Roman is your new WWE World Champion. So a really good night. We didn't have too many short matches on there. The Obafemi Brock Lesnar, we kind of expected that one to be short. Trick got it over with quick with Sammy. And then, the rest of them at least got 10 minutes. So it's good. A lot of fun. So day 2 was a blast. But then we got to a whole lot more starting on Raw, SmackDown, and in between. So we saw the call-ups, we saw the releases. Just a lot of stuff going on there. So we're going to be talking about all of that as we bring you the best in pro wrestling here on the Mark Hoke Show on KDAWN 101.5 FM, Talk of Las Vegas. And like I said, I do apologize. I'm not my usual peppy self today. I am doing my best. And of course, all the boys were tied up this weekend too, so I'm kind of stuck. But we're going to take a break. And when we come back, we get to hear from someone who a lot of people think could be on the track to being the greatest women's wrestler of all time. Really? They might be right. Kendal Gray from NXT going to be joining us here on the show. So looking forward to hearing from her and a whole lot more. So stick around. It's the best of pro wrestling on the Mark Hoke Show here on KDAWN 101.5 FM, Talk of Las Vegas.
Need repairs but money's tight? Meineke offers fix now, pay later financing with options designed to try and cover a wide range of credit situations. Brakes, tires, engine repairs, or oil changes. Our certified techs fix it fast and get you back on the road. Every visit includes a free digital e-inspection with photos and videos so you can see what your car needs before approving any work. Schedule today at Meineke.com. Trust your key with Meineke. Meineke, doing car care right.
Enjoy the steak and shrimp special at Jerry's Nugget for only $16.89. Savor the goodness as you slice into a juicy 8-ounce New York steak cooked to order. Then let a succulent, freshly prepared pan-fried shrimp melt in your mouth. So good. Jerry's Steak and Shrimp is served 7 days a week, 4 p.m. to 10 p.m., and comes with choice of super salad, choice of potato, and garlic bread. Now that's a classy deal for $16.89. Visit Jerry's Nugget Casino today, your kind of place.
Jerry's Nugget Casino, your kind of place.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Spring into deals at Lowe's and let your inner gardening guru out. Get select 1-pint annuals for $1 to start planting. Plus, get a free additional Cobalt 40-volt 2-amp-hour battery when you buy a select Cobalt 40-volt trimmer and blower combo kit for your lawn. The smell of fresh-cut grass, new plants, and weekends in the yard? It's springtime, and our best lineup is here at Lowe's. Valid through 5/6. Annuals offer excludes Alaska and Hawaii. While supplies last. Selection varies by location.
Wendy's new Biggie Deals lets you choose whatever you're in the mood for. It's like a music mixing board of deals, and you're the producer. Go with some chill folk music with a JBC in the $4 Biggie Bite snack. Try the drum and bass of deals with a double stack in the $6 Biggie Bag. Or go full-on sandwich symphony with an $8 Biggie Bundle, the grand finale of snacking. And the best part? They all come with napkins. $4, $6, and $8 Biggie Deals how you want them at Wendy's.
Price and participation may vary. Single items at regular price. Prices may be higher in Alaska, California, and Hawaii.
Straight Talk Wireless presents Pickup Truck Wisdom.
Turns out, talk isn't cheap. Just talking about affordability doesn't make things affordable. Straight Talk's had the same price since 2009. Plus, their gold plan includes a Walmart Plus membership and $20 in Walmart cash when you activate. That's more than just talk.
Find us at straighttalk.com and Walmart. Straightforward, always. Valid through May 17, 2026. $20 in Walmart cash for Straight Talk Gold or Platinum Plan customers newly enrolling in Walmart Plus. Limit 1 per enrollment and account. Same price claim applies only to base monthly price of the $45 Straight Talk plan, beginning October 2009.
Get 5 quarts of Syntec Full Synthetic and a MicroGuard Select Oil Filter for just $32.99 now at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Limit supply.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
1015 FM KDAWN.
This is the Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Here again, your host, Mark Hoke.
And we're back on the Mark Hoke Show here on KDAWN 1015 FM. Talk of Las Vegas. How I'm even talking right now, I have no idea. Honest to God, guys, I took so much cold medicine before this show. I'm amazed I'm even conscious. I dug back in the back of the medicine cabinet and everything just for all of you because I love you. I shouldn't be raising my voice too much, but I think it's time that we get to hear from did a great interview. I had fun with Kendal Gray from NXT. Of course, she and Ren were messing with Fatal Influence, so they don't have to worry about them anymore for right now because they got called up. But Kendal from right here in Las Vegas, and she got to perform here too over WrestleMania week. We're going to talk about a whole range of subjects here. As let's hear it from Kendal Gray. All right, everybody, we are on the Mark Hoke Show, and I can't begin to tell you how excited I am, even though it is very early in the morning for me anyway. But we have with us in the house, Vegas girl made it good over here. Very excited. Kendal Gray from NXT on the Mark Hoke Show. Kendal, how are you doing this morning?
For having me.
Yeah, I'm very excited. So, everybody knows about your background here in Las Vegas. Great amateur wrestler, made it to States for the boys. I wrestled in high school too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I did. And I know I don't look it anymore, but I think it's fascinating.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Got in there with the boys. Tell everybody a little bit about that if they don't remember the story.
Yeah. So growing up, like my whole family kind of bonded through like sports. And I started like MMA at like 11 years old. And when I got to high school, my dad was like, "Oh, you should try out for the guys wrestling team." And I was like, "Oh no, you're kidding, right?" Like I didn't think he was being serious because I didn't even think that was like that could happen. And he's like, "No, I'm being serious." And then I tried out first day and kind of just took off from there.
Oh, that's crazy. Yeah, I do remember a few girls wrestling in Pennsylvania.
Mm-hmm.
So, it can be done.
Yeah.
If you need to. So,
yeah. And it's honestly super cool because, when I was in high school, there wasn't a lot of females wrestling in the state of Nevada, or in Las Vegas in general. And then now coming back to Las Vegas and seeing that they have their own women teams in high school, they have their own women's state tournament. So it's really cool to see how far like the sport has grown and evolved. So it's really cool to see that.
Do you still follow it a lot? Because we just had the first official NCAA women's championship this year.
Yeah.
So
I still watch it. It's super cool. Like even when I graduated high school, like going to college, like NCAA wasn't even an opportunity for me. So it's cool to see like younger generations have that opportunity and just see how far and big this sport is growing.
Yeah, and I'm a Penn State guy, so you can imagine. Yeah. I've been enjoying the last 10 or 12 years.
Oh, I'm sure.
Now, you, of course, wrestled for Team USA, and that's where you kind of caught WWE's eye and got in the NIL program with them. Mm-hmm. Was that a easy decision for you to make, to say, you know what, I'm good, let's do it?
I think so I still had 2 years of eligibility left in college. So when it came down to it, when I had this opportunity with WWE and I had, opportunity to still wrestle and continue to wrestle, try to make an Olympic team eventually, I just kind of weighed out the pros and cons. And it definitely was a hard decision because I've been wrestling for as long as I could remember. And thinking of starting something fresh and something new is scary. So I just weighed out the pros and cons, and then, I'm happy with the decision I made. I am so happy here, and I'm so excited to be doing what I'm doing, and I love it. So I couldn't be, any more grateful for the opportunity.
The transition from amateur wrestling to professional wrestling.
Yeah.
Now there are obviously some commonalities in there, but what was that like? Did you have to make changes in things that you did in an amateur match as opposed to now you're doing pro wrestling, which is a totally different ballgame?
Yeah. There's definitely differences. I would say the physical, I was so used to the physical part of amateur wrestling, and I think that translates really well over here. And then just having your body awareness and moving your body, that transfers over really well too. I think the main thing was, growing up, I was a very shy kid, and in amateur wrestling, you don't really have to speak that much. You don't have to entertain. You just you're laser focused. You go out there and you just try to win, and that's kind of what it was. And also coming from a NAIA school, a smaller school for women's wrestling, you don't get interviewed that much. You don't really have press. You don't have all that. You don't have those skills. So coming here, the biggest thing for me was getting out of my comfort zone, showing my personality, talking. Those were the biggest challenges for me, and obviously I'm still getting better and working on those things, but I would say that was the biggest, challenge for me.
And we're on the Mark Hoke Show with Kendal Gray from NXT. And there have been, and I don't know if it's really fair to do this to you, but there have been comparisons to Kurt Angle. We've heard that Bully Ray has said that you are the future of women's pro wrestling. I don't know if you heard the statements that he made or not. And a lot of people feel that way. Dave Meltzer said she should be up on the main roster. There's no reason for her to be there. Does that excite you, bother you, or both?
Well, as far as the main roster stuff, I think everything is timing. I know that I have so much to grow and so much to learn here in NXT. So I feel everything will happen when it's supposed to happen. So I'm not in a rush to go anywhere. I have so much to learn. I literally just started 2.5 years ago. The first day I walked in was about 2.5 years ago. So I know I have so much to grow. When it comes to getting compared to Kurt Angle, I think, I love Kurt Angle. I think he's awesome. I love his story. So I think that's a super cool comparison. Obviously, I don't have a gold medal at the Olympics. I'm not as big as him. I'm not as strong as him. So, there is differences there. But it's really cool. And I think one of the main things that I have a goal for myself is to bring the women's division to a next level with the amateur wrestling style and bringing different technicality and intensity to it. So I don't know, I'm get excited, but I'm also very humble, and I don't really let the noise get to my head too much,
Well, one thing that's really interesting in NXT right now is just the amount of talent on the women's side that is down there.
Yeah.
And there's in a couple of years, this group that you're with could be almost completely taking over on the main rosters. Do all of you discuss that? Do you think about it at all and say, wow, we could all end up doing this together?
Yeah, I think every woman here brings something else to the table, and there is so much talent, like you said, literally so much talent. I feel we're all constantly working hard and training hard, but sometimes when you do that every day, you don't think about the bigger picture, like you said. So sometimes I guess we're just trying to get to the next best thing and like keep working hard and keep getting opportunities. So I feel like, it is cool. Like I have like a group of friends that we talk about like, that'd be so awesome. But, I think most of us just try to stay present and just, be in the moment and just enjoy what we have right now.
Now, one thing that I see when I watch you wrestle, and I think the best word that I've used to describe you is smooth. I mean, we all know it's not effortless, but you make it look effortless. How do you do that? I mean, it's amazing. It's just, wrestling for 2.5 years.
Yeah. I honestly, I don't know. I feel like it's so hard when you watch yourself, like you don't see sometimes what other people see. But I would say like growing up, like I just did so many sports. Like I started with gymnastics and I did t-ball and then I did soccer and then I did figure skating and then I wrestled and then I did jiu-jitsu and judo and it goes on and on and on. And I feel like especially starting like MMA and wrestling, that like footwork was so important and you had to have fast feet all the time. Like in wrestling, we did footwork drills and like, so I just feel like a lot of that does, play a part in that. But I do like to be very smooth. And I think for me, like, especially being like a little bit smaller size, I use that footwork and that speed and that smoothness to my advantage.
It all comes down to the footwork. Every sport. I wrestled and I ended up coaching volleyball, for 20 years, believe it or not. But it does. It's, it's the feet carry everything from there. So
slow feet don't eat.
That's good. I like that. I gotta steal that one. You've been teaming with Ren Sinclair for a long time now. What's that partnership like?
I mean, Ren is awesome and she's been doing this way longer than I have. So it's really cool to have her and, be able to go to her for questions. And I just think our like personalities and our dynamic is so fun. She's really helped me get out of my shell and like really show my goofy side. So, I love being with her and I think she's amazing at what she does. So it's really cool to be teamed up with her.
Well, just recently you guys took care of Fatal Influence and then you got to wrestle for the NXT championship at Stand and Deliver. What an honor that is.
Yeah.
How'd you feel when you knew the opportunity was going to come, that you were going to be in that match at Stand and Deliver? How awesome was that?
Honestly, it was like a full circle moment. It was so cool because I remember last year, I was about a year in and I heard that Stand and Deliver was going to be in Las Vegas. And I was like, oh my gosh, I have to go my hometown. And I remember asking at that time and I was like, honestly crazy to even ask, but I was like, like what are the odds about me being on Stand and Deliver? And like I said, I was like a year in and they were like, they kind of looked at me crazy and was like 1%. And I was like, okay. So that now this year being on Stand and Deliver, going for the NXT Women's Championship, it's just, it's just so cool. And like knowing that my hard work has paid off and it's, I'm obviously working hard always, but it's starting to pay off and having these opportunities are just, it's so cool. It's awesome. I enjoy every moment of it.
Yeah. And, the future is very bright for you. Where do you see yourself in a couple of years? What are some of the aspirations that you have?
Couple years? Honestly, whether I'm in NXT a couple years from now, whether I'm on Raw, whether I'm on SmackDown, I want to make like a difference. And that's, the main thing I want to do. I want to impact other people's lives. I want to make a difference in the women's division. I want to bring it to a next level. And I think that would probably be like my main goal. I just want to change the division and, change people's life and get people watching and get people invested and, make them feel something.
Yeah. And we're once again on the Mark Hoke Show with NXT's Kendal Gray. And now there was a spot that happened in the last show with Sol Roca that with the double tables and she nearly missed. I'm curious to hear what your feelings about that and what the roster was thinking when they saw that in kind of the aftermath.
Honestly, we all back there, we were all watching. We were like speechless. Like we were just like mouth wide open, speechless. Like we didn't know how to react in that moment. and then when she came back, she's awesome. She's amazing at what she does. She comes back, she has a towel on her head, and she's like, heck yeah, like she's smiling, and she's awesome. But like definitely a scary moment for all of us, and just like concerned for her, and like obviously that could be really, really bad, and it was bad, but it could always be worse. So knowing that she came back with like a positive mind and like smiling and stuff was a good reassuring moment, because all of us definitely were scared.
Well, between her and Braun Breaker, you guys gonna have to start wearing helmets.
I don't know, maybe.
Yeah, that is unbelievable. So now coming up, what's immediately going to be happening on NXT with Kendal Gray?
Honestly, I have no idea. I can't really tell you. But the last 2 weeks I've had a chance to like sit down and really tell like the WWE universe a little bit more about me, which was really cool. And there's so much more about me that I want to, tell. And I'm excited down the road to be able to tell those things. But, I still have my eye on the NXT Women's Championship. I think, Lola and I had a match before Stand and Deliver. Obviously the finish was a little wonky. And then, the Stand and Deliver was a triple threat. So obviously I would love to get another opportunity against Lola Vice, but I know like I still have a lot of work to be done. And I'm patient. Like I'm not in a rush. I know my time will come when it's supposed to come. So right now I'm just going to keep working hard, keep training hard, come in trying to get better every day. And whatever comes my way, I'm going to, make the most out of that,
Now, before I let you go, you mentioned everything happening in Vegas. Mm-hmm. And you got to wrestle at WWE World here in your hometown against Ivy Nile.
Mm-hmm.
How cool was that for you? I mean, I can only imagine what that meant to you to have so many people. Did you have a lot of people turn out?
We had a good like crowd there for sure. Yeah, we had some people, and then I had like some family, like my dad, my brother, some cousins of mine come, and some of my dad's friends. So it was really fun. It was a great opportunity. Going back to Vegas is, it's awesome. I want to go back more, hopefully in the future. But also having that opportunity with Ivy Nile, someone that has so much experience, is also very cool and like was awesome for me. And she's also having that same kind of background in a way, like the, MMA type background. So it's just like really cool for us to get in the ring and have our dynamic and see where it goes.
You know what? You should do Bloodsport if it comes back. If we talk to Josh Barnett, that would be fun. I think it'd be awesome on that.
Yeah, it would be fun. I don't know if that is in my future, but like I'm not opposed. I would definitely do it. I think it's awesome. Natty just had a match with Shayna Baszler on there, and that was awesome. So if that opportunity comes my way, like obviously I would be down. I'm down for anything.
Dream opponent.
In general?
Yeah. If you're in, let's say you're in the main event of WrestleMania, who's standing across from you? Who would you like to see there?
There's literally so many people I could say. I feel like it changes all the time. Not changes all the time, but there's just more people added to the list. If I had to name a few, can I name a few? Or
sure, name a few.
Okay. A few would be Rhea Ripley for sure. I think Sol Ruka and I would love to have a singles match with her. We've had some tag matches against each other, but I would love to get in the ring with her, and I think we could do some really, really cool stuff. And then probably Roxanne Perez.
She's awesome, isn't she?
She is awesome. No,
she's awesome.
She's awesome, and we're both around the same age, so it's, I just think she's awesome. She's great at what she does, so I think we could definitely put on a good match.
Well, I think a lot of people are expecting that some matches like that are going to happen, and probably sooner than later. You've been fantastic so far, Kendal. And Las Vegas is very proud of you. I know that.
Oh, thank you so much.
So we'll look forward to seeing you in the future on NXT on Tuesday nights and wherever the road takes you. Congratulations on all the success.
Thank Mark.
Yep. Thank you, Kendal. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Yep. You got it. All right, and there you go, Kendal Gray, everybody. And one thing that I'm hoping is that's going to be one of the early interviews for a Hall of Famer. I really do. She is something else, and the sky is the limit for that girl. Speaking of sky, Coach's sky got limited a little bit as he was coming back from the NFL draft, and he's stuck at the airport, so he's able to join us. Coach, I'm dying, just so you know. So I'm glad you're here.
I'm glad I can tag in for you, Mark. It's good to see you. Yeah, Kendal's amazing.
Yeah, so awesome to have her on the show. Let's go. Well, since I got you here, Coach, let's talk a little bit about day 2 of WrestleMania. I'll give you your shot at that. Definitely different from day 1, no doubt about it. What'd you think?
I loved it. I thought it was 100% different than night 1. It started off hot with I think it was a Lesnar match with night 2. Yeah, the Lesnar match, and then the ladder match, and then just continued on and culminated with one of the top 5 WrestleMania main events ever.
Really? Putting it that high?
It was a great match.
Oh, it's
a great story. Great match. Yeah, definitely, in my opinion, one of the top 5 ever.
Wow. Yeah, I'd have to sit down and rank it out. It was, being there live, it's a little more little different seeing it than seeing it on TV. But it was a great match, no question. Right call, Roman Reigns?
Oh, of course. He is the brand. They gave him a couple years off to cool off, and people were just waiting, salivating to acknowledge the tribal chief as world champ once again. He's going to be raising ratings on whatever TV show he's on, Raw, SmackDown. He could be in both, but people want to see his promos. We got the Usos back with them, and things are back to normal in WWE.
It does seem like they're trying to reassemble the bloodline. Is that the right call, really, though? I mean, you're kind of doing the same gag twice.
Wrestling fans love it when you play back the hits. We're nostalgic, and that was a great time in professional wrestling. The Bloodline ran wrestling for 4 years, and people loved it, from the promos to the matches to the vignettes, to the entrances. That's when wrestling was really hot. And since that dropped off, so did ratings for WWE, so did storylines, so did champions. So when the Bloodline is on top, WWE is back.
Well, now we have the situation with Oba Femi and Brock Lesnar. Oba gets the win. I'm glad he did. I think it would have been terrible if he had taken a loss there. But Brock, it appears to be an impromptu thing that he left his gear in the ring, symbolizing a retirement. Do you think we've seen the last of Brock Lesnar in WWE?
I know he likes a payday. So there's definitely opportunities to get a payday, whether it comes in Minnesota at the Royal Rumble or in a year or two having a run-in. Brock will always be around. I think they counted the matches that he's had since he started in WWE, and I don't even think it was over 500 matches. So his body's fresh. It's just whether he wants to continue to go through professional wrestling, or if he just kind of wants to fall back into the wild plains of Saskatchewan or Saskatoon or Alberta, wherever he lives, and just be at peace with his beautiful wife, Sable.
Yeah, no doubt about that. And we'll see what the future holds for Brock Lesnar, because a lot of people are thinking they still want to get that match with Gunther down the road, but we'll see about that. I'll tell you what, Coach, let me take a break here, and when we come back, we will discuss a little more WrestleMania fallout, and I'll give you a shot at some of these releases too, because man, there were some shockers. Seriously. And maybe a little bit about your experience at the NFL draft. Pretty cool.
Yeah, it was fun.
All right, so stick around, everybody. Got a whole lot more coming up on the Mark Hoke Show, and we'll be right back.
Have you inherited a home and want to avoid the stress and hassle of selling? Call Wedgwood Homes first to discuss your options. Inheriting a home can be overwhelming. Probate paperwork, multiple heirs, property taxes, repairs, and maybe even an existing mortgage. With Wedgwood Homes, there's no need to clean or clear out the house, and no repairs or updates. We buy as is and provide a fast, reliable, all-cash offer. No commissions, no hassle. The Wedgwood Homes team can guide you through the process with experts in probate, trusts, and shared inheritance. Wedgwood Homes offers firm with no strings and no last-minute price drops like other cash buyers. We can close in as little as 3 days or on your timeline. Avoid competing with new inventory and demanding buyers in the real estate market. Let Wedgwood Homes ease the process so you can help your family move forward. Call 702-996-3583 today for your no-obligation cash offer. That's 702-996-3583. 702-996-3583. Or wedgwoodhomes.com. Las Vegas's trusted home buyer for 20 years.
Wendy's new Biggie Deals lets you choose whatever you're in the mood for. It's like a music mixing board of deals, and you're the producer. Go with some chill folk music with a JBC in the $4 Biggie Bite snack. Try the drum and bass of deals with a double stack in the $6 Biggie Bag. Or go full-on sandwich symphony with an $8 Biggie Bundle, the grand finale of snacking. And the best part? They all come with napkins. $4, $6, and $8 Biggie Deals how you want them. At Wendy's.
Price and participation may vary. Single items at regular price. Prices may be higher in Alaska, California, and Hawaii.
Transform your bathroom with the beautiful quality of Bath Planet. As a trusted leader in bathroom renovation, Bath Planet has earned the Good Housekeeping seal, a symbol of quality and consumer confidence for over 100 years. Get half off installation or 18 months with no interest and no payments. Whether it's tub replacement, a shower replacement, or a tub to shower conversion, Bath Planet makes your custom bath fast, easy, and affordable. This special offer is only available by calling 800-208-8750. That's 800-208-8750.
Paid for by Bath Concepts Industries. Free trial of 7 days. If customer does not cancel prior to the end of a trial period, fees will apply.
Running a business means wearing multiple hats. So if you're like me, you probably started out using your personal phone, taking client calls and texts nonstop. As my business grew, I needed something smarter. That's when I switched to Quo, the #1 business phone system. Quo works right on your phone or computer. No carrying 2 phones, no clunky landline, just one easy app you can try for free. Your team can share one number and handle calls and texts together like a shared inbox. Any teammate can jump into the conversation, so customers get faster responses. And Quo's AI assistant summarizes your calls and responds to customers 24/7, so you never miss a lead or opportunity. All this starts at just $15 a month. That's basically 2 coffees. You can even keep your current business phone number. Find out why 90,000 businesses trust Quo. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try Quo for free at quo.com/sports. That's quo.com/sports to try Quo free. QUO.com/SPORTS.
1015 FM KDAWN.
You're listening to the #1 professional wrestling radio show in Vegas, The Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Now, here again is Mark Hoke.
Yeah, I'm dying, everybody. This could be the last Mark Hoke Show if this flu keeps up. Wow. No, I'm not that bad, but I'm bad. But I'm very happy to have Coach Rosey along with me for the ride. And don't forget, hour number 2, Terrell Yelder from PW Insider is going to be joining us. I love that guy. Got to meet him at WrestleMania. And I think we're going to have a lot of fun with him, Coach.
Yeah, he seemed like a good guy. I've seen his stuff, read his stuff, so I'm excited.
Be a lot of fun. Let's talk a little bit about the business side and what happened in Vegas here for WrestleMania. A lot of interesting facts coming out about how all this came together and some of the things that were going on in the city. But the first thing that I'll hit was the fan behavior. And we had a really difficult situation over at the MGM that, man, the guys were having to, and ladies were having to walk through a lot of open space in the casino. They were getting mobbed. We had an incident with CM Punk where he slapped a phone out of a guy's hand. It was pretty sad to see. I think handled badly on a lot of fronts there, Coach.
Definitely. I saw it firsthand, and I experienced it firsthand driving the Hardys around. As much as I enjoy wrestling fans talking and meeting people, some of them really give us a bad name. These are men and women that might have a persona in the ring, but have a life outside of the ring, and they just maul people. They run up to them from behind, from the side, and say some of the meanest things in the world if you tell them no. Like, hey, we got to go to this next signing, and they'll just start cussing us out. It's terrible. There needs to be a code of conduct, and wrestling fans need to, call out this behavior. And if you see it in a casino or at an airport hotel or on the road or at a gas station, speak up. and protect our wrestlers, because they don't need that kind of stuff, and it could turn dangerous. Some of these people are fanatical. Some of these people believe that these wrestlers are their friends, and they've known them for years, even though they haven't met them. And it's getting to the point where someone's going to be hurt. You even saw it with an independent wrestler by the name of Kroll over in the South. They had an indie show. I think it was in Chicago or somewhere in the South. They had somebody that was overserved, somebody that got up in his face, and it turned into an altercation. That could have easily happened in Las Vegas or any other road hotel.
By the way, we have a baby making his debut on the Mark Hoke Show from wherever airport coach is at. I'm assuming you're in Pittsburgh, right?
Beautiful Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, is correct.
Well, I hope you got some Primanti brothers while you were there. So.
Yes, I did. I had 2 sandwiches, one each day.
There you go. Very nice. Very nice. Yeah, but in terms of this fan behavior, guys, you gotta give these people a space. That's absolutely ridiculous. And the whole thing with Punk slapping the phone out of somebody's hand, maybe shouldn't have done that, but I also understand that, when someone says, "Hey, back off," you back off. And as you said, Coach, these are people. They aren't, these aren't some superheroes that are flying in. They're human beings, and they need their space. They need their safety. And when, and like the airport thing, the airport thing drives me nuts. The people that hang out at the airports and bring stuff along to try and get people to sign and all that crazy stuff, that behavior is just nuts. But what does WWE do now to resolve this problem? Because, who knows what's going to happen over there in Riyadh?
Well, I can pay a very strong compliment to the Palms Resort, who did a lot of events at their facility. We had the Hardy Party there. The Paragon Group and Scott Demore produced a lot of the pool parties and different events there. They always had a security guard waiting for the talent to escort them wherever they needed to go. Also at the pool party, they had a specific area where people could not go into, and it was a lot safer. WWE has to find a way to make sure that whatever hotel or resort that they partner with, that they either make sure that they have service elevators for the wrestlers, security detail that is at each elevator when the wrestlers come down, and the opportunity possibly to have a special entrance or departure location that the wrestlers can go to, so they can not have to just walk out the front of the resort to catch an Uber or to catch transportation. You put those things together, they'll feel a lot safer.
I remember being at a Dynamite, and when the show was over, Adam Cole's just out there walking through the hallway, to get up to his room. And, one thing for Adam is that, he doesn't have the standout body like an Obafemi, so he can kind of blend in a little bit more. But I was just looking at that like, man, why are they not able to, get a safe area to walk back to the room or get an escort or something? I mean, that just blows me away. So hopefully that situation is going to get resolved. Some other interesting news and notes that came out a lot here in Las Vegas. Apparently WWE got $10.3 million from the city and the state for this thing. $10.3 million. They got $6 million for a site fee and $4.3 million in tax credits. So now we know a little bit about how much money they got paid, because I think the number last year was 5. So they made some serious coin. WWE made some serious coin from Vegas having it back here. And we'll see when it returns again. I mean, Coach, I think that's for us local fans here. The possibility of having another Vegas WrestleMania. Could it be a few years away? Or is it something that, we may not see for a long time?
No offense to the fine city of Las Vegas, but I hope it doesn't go back for a long time. They definitely made their $10 million back when you're charging $22 for a bottle of water, $15 for a side of French fries. The prices were astronomical, not only in the resorts but in the community. And I understand that it's Las Vegas and it's a destination city, but there's other places that they can go to, that they can just as well have a central location with plenty of resorts and restaurants where the fans won't be gouged. Because when you left WrestleMania these last 2 years in Vegas, you didn't just leave a little lighter. You left a lot lighter. Too expensive for the average wrestling fan, in my opinion.
Yeah, and that's a problem that we deal with here all the time, talking about some of these costs. Now, you need to get off the strip. I would just recommend everybody that if you come out here, go to places off the strip, man. There's a lot of terrific restaurants and things to do, and you need to you're going to drop your money at some point on the strip, but yeah, they really nailed some people this year, so we'll see. But I know TKO wants to have it here as much as possible, so I'm just wondering if you were betting, Coach, within 5 years they come back.
No.
Okay, fair enough. Let's see what else. There were some other interesting interviews that came out. Mark Shapiro, the CEO of TKO, said that they have final say on creative, which has apparently been exercised the past few years, and say, well, we don't do it much. But, Coach, they did it on the main event of the last 3 WrestleManias, and it didn't turn out well.
No, it hasn't turned out well for them. I think they just need to worry about making money and leave the wrestling decisions up to the people that truly know what they're doing.
Yeah, this was, this whole thing with Pat McAfee. I tried to say to everybody, give it a chance. Let's see where it goes. And it didn't go anywhere. Pat's gone. Well, it was completely unneeded for that Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes match. But I thought that was interesting that Shapiro came out and said that, because it almost gives Triple H a little bit of an out. He can say, hey, you know what? That decision didn't come from me, and get away with it.
Yeah, but Triple H is man enough to not need a scapegoat. Just put the power in Triple H's hands. You saw what he did with the Bloodline. You saw what he did when he first took over for Vince. Let him have the reins back, and you're going to get better storylines and better action in the ring.
Yeah, and well, then we get to the shows for the week, and we've got a few minutes, and we'll hit on this a little bit more in the next hour. But we have the call-ups, and here's who is going to be hitting the main roster, has already hit it. Joe Hendry, Ethan Page, Ricky Saints, Saul Ruka, all 3 ladies of Fatal Influence, and Blake Monroe are all now main roster. Coach, I talked about this. There's a talent wave that's coming up from NXT that these guys that are up there right now had better be ready, because they're going to get challenged by these guys. And, especially if you saw what Saul Ruka did against Liv Morgan, she looked amazing. Man, if I were on the main roster right now, I'd be watching my back.
Yeah, no, they're the cream of the crop for NXT, and that's what NXT is supposed to do, build talent for the main roster. And with those names that you just said, by far they took the best that they have. So even though NXT might suffer for a little bit, WWE will be a lot stronger with those call-ups.
Yeah, this is going to be a lot of fun to see what all of them do. And, Fatal Influence, geez, they got nuclear heat on SmackDown on Friday night. That was incredible. And I didn't expect that, Coach, but I'm sure they got people's attention there pretty quick.
Isn't that what a heel's supposed to do? If you want to make your mark, you got to make an initial impact that are going to sear a memory in people's mind. And they did that Friday night at SmackDown by annihilating some real legends.
Yes, they did. And also, just some quick ones. Tiffany Stratton wins the U.S. title from Julia. So Tiffy time is back in the house. Lexis King won the speed title in NXT. So Brian Pillman Jr. has the speed championship, which I think is pretty interesting. And then, we had the releases, and, I want to save a little bit of that for the next hour. But Coach, real fast, any of those stand out to you that you saw it and was like, what?
Not really. I guess you can say Aleister Black, but you know how he is. He's got to have it a certain way. And, that certain way sometimes ruffles people's feathers. And Zelina's a great talent, but, they were peripheral people with injuries. The Motor City Machine Guns, a lot of people said they were signed just to keep them away from AEW. So, were there anyone that is going to make a significant impact in 2026 and 2027? Not really, but they were people that worked hard for the company, that were conduits to some good storylines, but no one is going to make a drastic impact on the current state of affairs in WWE.
Man, I feel so bad, Coach, because I interviewed 4 people at Media Days that got cut. Ouch. You may want to go back and look at those interviews. I don't
Mark,
think they knew
the Black Widow Hoke. That's your new name, the Black Widow.
I guess I was wiping people out. But, hey, we're going to get ready for hour number 2. I'm going to take some more cold medicine, try and get through it. Terrell Yelder from PW Insider is going to be joining us. Coach Rosey is along for the ride, too, until
maybe for a little longer. They just made a call saying that we're getting ready to line up. So if I'm not around after the break, it's good to see everybody, and I'll see you guys next week.
Sounds good, brother. Thank you very much. All right, we'll see you on the other side of the break. A dying Mark Hoke in the house, but, hey, we're bringing it to you. That's what we do. Stick around, everybody. A whole lot more in hour number 2 of the Mark Hoke Show. We'll be right back.
Want more of The Mark Hoke Show? Follow us on Twitter at Mark Hoke Show, like us on Facebook at The Mark Hoke Show, and visit markhokeshow.com to keep up with everything happening with the show. And remember to check out all of our archive shows on YouTube at The Mark Hoke Show and download our podcasts at markhokeshow.podbean.com and all your favorite podcast outlets. So join the Mark Hoke Show family today, and thanks for listening.
This isn't the bedtime story you remember. Nevada Ballet Theater invites you to a Brothers Grimm classic, reimagined with dark sophistication and gothic intrigue. Hansel and Gretel, magic and mischief, a treacherous land ruled by the maniacal ice cream witch. Vintage cinema inspired, brought to life with striking sets and exquisite costumes. Hansel and Gretel, live at the Smith Center, May 15th through the 24th. Tickets at thesmithcenter.com. Nevada Ballet Theater. Expect the unexpected.
We're here with Chuck, founder of Dollar Loan Center. Chuck, where can I find your nearest location in Southern Nevada?
Great question. The best way to find us is Google Dollar Loan Center near me, or go to don'tbebroke.com, where you can even apply online if you like.
Well, I use ChatGPT now.
I'm sure that would work too. The bottom line is it's worth the effort. We save customers a lot compared to other payday or title places, and we lend way more. We even give all new customers the first week's interest on us, sort of a free trial. There's no fee to apply, and they can keep this loan out for up to a year if they really need to.
Founded in Las Vegas over 28 years ago, DLC lends up to $5,000 in minutes. Stop by any of our 25 nearby locations to meet our real friendly staff. You can also apply over the phone or online at don'tbebroke.com.
Licensed by Nevada Financial Institutions Division. Subject to approval. Limitations may apply. See website for details.
Mark it on your calendar, Saturday, May 2nd, as the city's finest Warriors battle it out on the gridiron at the annual Battle of the Badge charity football game. Battle of the Badge brings together the bravest of Las Vegas Metro Police and Las Vegas Fire and Rescue in a hero-to-hero friendly yet spirited rivalry game. It's all supporting and honoring our fallen heroes. Admission is free. Kickoff is at 7 with pregame activities starting at 4. It's happening at Bishop Gorman Football Stadium. The Battle of the Badge. We'll see you there.
Always wanted to learn French, but the app I tried didn't help.
If you want to memorize words in another language, there's an app for that. But if you want to really learn another language, there's Babbel. Babbel was designed by over 200 language learning experts to be the most effective way to learn another language.
With other language learning apps, I was just playing games. I wasn't really learning. Babbel's different. Every time I open the app, I can choose to work on my writing, speaking, or listening. And it saves my mistakes for me to review, so I'm constantly improving. Babbel feels like it was created intentionally by people who really know what you need to learn another language. Before Babbel, I thought I just wasn't good with languages. But now I'm speaking French. Tout ça, c'est grâce à Babbel.
Want to really learn another language? Save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription when you sign up at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com to save up to 50%. Babbel.com.
KMXB HD3 Henderson, K268CS Las Vegas. Always live on the free Odyssey app. 1015 FM KDAWN.
Plenty of reaction
Nation. I'm Paul Stevens from Fox News. Officials from both parties are condemning the shooting at the White House Correspondents Association dinner last night. Hakeem Jeffries, Democratic House leader, on Fox News Sunday.
Here in America, we can have strong disagreements, but it's important for us to agree to strongly disagree without being disagreeable with each other. And it is certainly the case that violence is never the answer.
Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche on Fox News Sunday on what he knows about the motive of the suspect.
It appears he was targeting members of the administration, but I say that generally because that's all we know right now. We don't have any specifics beyond that.
Fox's Peter Ducey at the White House talking about the broader context of recent shootings.
You look at July 13th, 2024, the Butler assassination attempt on President Trump. A couple months later, September 15th, 24, there was a second assassination attempt on the president. April 13th of last year, there was arson at Governor Josh Shapiro's home. June 14th of last year, the Minnesota House Speaker and her husband were fatally shot. Then, of course, Minnesota Senator John Hoffman and his wife were shot that same night. September 10th of last year, Charlie Kirk was fatally shot, and then a gunman tried to shoot his way into the White House Correspondents' Dinner.
The suspect ID'd is 31-year-old Cole Allen, a teacher from Torrance, California. U.S. Attorney for the District of Columbia, Janine Shapiro, announcing Allen has been charged with 2 counts of using a firearm during a crime of violence and assault on a federal officer using a dangerous weapon. The event is supposed to be rescheduled within 30 days. Buckingham Palace reviewing security details after last night's shooting. Britain's King Charles and Queen Camilla are expected to arrive in the U.S. tomorrow for an official 4-day state visit. America's listening to Fox News.
Stay on top of the latest forecast with America's Weather Team in the palm of your hands.
Here's the latest from America's Weather Center.
It's Fox weather updates throughout your busy day, every day.
That heat's going to be out there for one more day.
Temperatures being 30 degrees above average.
Put the power of over 100 meteorologists and the worldwide resources of Fox in your hands with the Fox Weather Podcast. Precise, personal, powerful. Subscribe and listen now at foxnewspodcasts.com. Connect to Fox News Audio on the Fox News app. Listen to hear your favorite hosts like Brian Kilmeade, Jimmy Fallon, and Guy Benson standing up for what's right, live and via podcast. Just click listen, then swipe right and hear the latest news updates on your time. And scroll down to hear the latest podcasts from Fox News. And it's even easier to listen in the car with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Get programming alerts and notifications. Fox News Audio is on the Fox News app. The voices America trusts. Download it now.
Your back-to-back Los Angeles Dodgers baseball is coming up this afternoon at 12. And the talk you love is always streaming on the Odyssey, iHeartMedia, or TuneIn apps. Just search for KDAWN in Las Vegas.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the #1 professional wrestling radio show in Las Vegas. This is the Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Going bell to bell with the best in professional wrestling news, entertainment, and lots of Sin City surprises from inside the squared circle. Now, let's get to all the exciting pro wrestling action and bring on the host. Here is Mark Hoke.
Oh, good morning, Las Vegas. Yes, I feel like you, but it's all right. Hey, we're going to get through this show, having a great time bringing you the best in pro wrestling news and entertainment. So please excuse my voice if it is not the usual smooth and silky tones from me and my Hulkamaniacs. But man, what a week we had. WrestleMania here in Las Vegas. The fallout, just so much happening this week with new people coming up and some pretty sad goodbyes. And I decided to bring in one of the best in the business. Let's just get him in here right now. Terrell Yeller from Pro Wrestling Insider. Very happy to have you with us, sir. What's going on? Oh, can't hear you, sir. Not hearing you. You have to check your mic setting or something, or it might be muted. But we'll try and get Terrell in here. Yeah, Terrell, I can't hear you, buddy. All right, so we'll give him a second to figure out that mic setting, but we've definitely got him here. So just hang in there. Once Terrell figures out that mic, we'll get him all squared up. All right. But of course, a lot happening. Oh, there he is. Here, I hear you. All right. All right. First timer on the show, you know.
Yeah,
what do you have? What's behind your head there?
Oh, that's that's one of my walls here down in my man cave, my den in my house. Yeah, my office is even worse. It's a bunch of stuff. Just a bunch.
Are you single?
Am I single?
Yeah.
I am.
Yep. Well, that explains it. You wouldn't get away with that if you were married. I can tell you that right now.
I've been married, so I know.
Oh, yeah, me too. Down that road. But like, we're catering bros, by the way. We had a great time at WrestleMania.
We did.
Even attack catering together. Man, that was awesome.
We did. I don't know if it was a pleasure or displeasure sitting next to me during night one, because as you said earlier, I was not happy. But it was a good time. It was a good time.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about night one a little bit. A totally different night from night two. But let's just hit that main event, because I know you were very frustrated with the finish of that. Tell me your thoughts about what happened in that Randy Orton match.
I don't think I've ever left a live show more baffled, more confused. I don't know what happened. Whether you want to go from the RKO on Charles Robinson not being a DQ, I mean, you can write that off to Randy didn't know who he was hitting the RKO on, sure. But then you had Pat McAfee come back after you got rid of him at the beginning of the match, seemingly, and make a count that's not a fast count. I mean, if you're a referee and you've got your guy in there and you want him to win,
yeah, fast count him.
Fast count, right? So, yeah, we get a very regular, modest count from Pat McAfee, and then an RKO from Randy Orton. And I just don't understand why. I don't understand why.
I said after the match was over, let's give them a chance. Let's see what they do with this. And you know what they did with it? Nothing.
Absolutely
nothing. Pat's gone. Jelly Roll is, who knows where he is. And you know, Randy is beltless, and Cody Rhodes was still getting booed out of the building. I just don't know what to say about this. This was just another situation where the TKO guys stuck their nose in here, and it didn't work for the third year in a row. It didn't work.
It did not work. Yeah, baffled is the word that I've come in. I always like to say that wrestling never stops. There's always another show. There's always another promo to explain. But as you said, we get to Friday and nothing.
Yeah. I just don't get why they stuck him in there. And you know, and then we've heard the story that this was supposed to be Aleister Black all along.
Right.
And we remember he was showing up in the back of these
absolutely
these vignettes as we were going through the lead up to WrestleMania. And now he's gone, which is just bizarre. So I don't know. We're gonna talk about those releases in a little bit.
We got time.
But let's talk about the fun stuff. Night two is fantastic.
It's a directive. It almost felt like a directive of like two different hands. You know what I mean? Like if you took a casual wrestling fan in night one, night two, and they watched, it'd feel like it was produced by two different people, two different teams, right? WrestleMania hasn't. I know people have been going on about the match lengths from night one. WrestleMania always hasn't had long matches. You know what I mean? My favorite WrestleMania is WrestleMania 8. The longest match on WrestleMania 8 was 16 minutes. You know, there are several matches on that card under 10 minutes, several just over 10 minutes. I think the problem lies when you have 30 minutes of ads in between.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know,
that was rough for everybody at home, that's for sure.
Yeah, but it seems like night two corrected that. It didn't seem as long. The breaks in between matches didn't seem as long. And it was just a different feel. You know what I mean? It was a different feel. It felt like WrestleMania, whereas night one did not feel like WrestleMania at all.
No, I agree with you. It felt like a Raw.
Yeah. Yeah.
It really did.
I heard Coach say top 5 main event. I'm going to have to agree with that.
Okay.
When I go through WrestleMania main events, it's up there.
Yeah, no doubt about it. It was a fantastic match. Well, let's talk about this Oba Femi and Brock Lesnar situation, because Oba goes over, and I was screaming, if you were making this match, you better put him over. But then Brock pulls the curveball and leaves his gear in the ring.
Right.
Do you think Terrell, that Brock is done?
I think that's what we're supposed to think. I think that's what we're being led to believe. I don't think he's fully done. That's my opinion. I just don't.
Fair enough. Yeah, I'm sure that. I mean, and he was apparently upset with a lot of things that were going on. It was just like, if we're going to do this, let's do it right. So,
yeah,
as much guff as Brock Lesnar gets from people, the guy still gets the business, and he's done a lot of good things for other wrestlers as the years have gone on. So,
absolutely, he absolutely put Oba on. He gave Oba a lot leading up. People were a little worried about the match because leading up to it, he never really got the upper hand on Oba. And in wrestling, that usually means, that guy, he's taking the pin. Right. But they did the right thing. I think that Oba is as big as a layup as they've had since Brock Lesnar, and having him go over was a no-brainer. It was a no-brainer.
Yeah, he is a guy that for as few matches as he's wrestled, really understands the little things, psychology and facial expressions.
Yeah.
I mean, it's impressive how well he gets it. And man, the sky is the limit for this guy. He's absolutely incredible.
Yeah,
what else?
He has a presence.
No doubt. Hey, Trick's the U.S. champ.
Yeah.
But now we're still messing with Sammy, but not a surprise there at all. But I'll tell you what is surprising with SmackDown is a Little Yachty is sticking around. He's apparently going to be his manager. I'm like, whoa, where'd that come from?
I mean, it's not really really offensive to me. He's there as a mouthpiece for somebody who doesn't really need a mouthpiece, but it offers Trick a little bit more credibility. You know what I mean? Lil Yachty is a big time rapper, so as much credibility as you can give Trick, I'd say go for it. I don't see an issue with it.
Yeah, and then Rhea Ripley, Jade Cargill, that was a huge match for Jade.
Yes, it was.
And we talked about that on the show last week, that Jade really needed to have a good night, because if she didn't, it could have been curtains for her. And to her credit, she came through it, and she and Rhea put a good match together, and Jade survives, even though she does lose the championship. You think Jade has saved herself in the eyes of the boys at WWE?
I think so, and I don't. Jade has had really good performances before. I look back to her matches with Naomi last year throughout the summer. She's had good performances. This wasn't her first good performance. This might be her best. That's for sure. I mean, her title reign, she didn't really do much with it, but that's not on her. She was dealt a hand and she played it, but you're right. She had to go into WrestleMania. She had to step up and she had to put on a good show, and that she did. That was a really good match. Really good match.
Yeah, and then of course we talked a little bit about the main event. Roman Reigns knocks off CM Punk, wins the world championship, and now the fallout from this is it looks like they're trying to get the band back together, as the Usos hooked up with Roman again, and Jacob Fatu is now challenging Roman Reigns at Backlash. It looks like. Do you like the bloodline coming back together? I'm a little torn on it, to be honest with you.
I am too. I love the bloodline when it was at its peak, and they've always stated, Paul Heyman especially, that it's not over. There's a lot more story to tell with the bloodline. And Jacob is a nice infusion into that for this next chapter, whatever it's going to be. Whether it be the Usos turning on Roman and siding with Jacob, whether it be Jacob joining Roman's bloodline, I don't know, but I like the feeling of not knowing, because that was the best thing about the original bloodline to me, is you look forward to the next segment the next week because you wanted to know where the story was going. You wanted to see where it was going. And as long as we can get back to that, I'm fine with it. I like it.
Yeah, there you go. So Jacob Fautou inserted in the World Championship picture, and man, I lost my prediction on The Rock showing up. I have to mention that, but I still think he's lurking in the background somewhere on all this. I really do. You're putting these guys back together. Can't imagine that Dwayne is just going to sit back, and especially with this WrestleMania coming up in Riyadh, where everybody apparently wants him to wrestle over there. I just feel like there's something more sinister behind the curtain.
That certainly feels that way, doesn't it? It certainly feels that way. Again, WrestleMania Night 1, WrestleMania Night 2, two totally different shows, two totally different productions, and it almost feels like Night 1 was fine. You think you can run a wrestling program? Run it.
Yeah.
See what happens. And it was a UFC show. As someone who watches UFC, as a fan of UFC, it was a UFC show.
It's an interesting parallel.
Well, in UFC, you don't know if the fight is going to go 15 seconds or 15 minutes. So there's an implied expectation of long breaks between fights, a lot of ads, talking heads, analysts talking about the fights. In wrestling, that doesn't really work because you dictate how long they're in the ring, right?
Yeah.
So it just, the matches were hurt by the amount of ads. So that's why I say it was a UFC show. Night 2 was a wrestling show.
Yeah, I would agree. It was like night and day. And we're on with Terrell Yeller from PW Insider. So let me ask you about your impressions of Las Vegas. You're from Chicago. Were you here last year too?
No, I'm from New York. I was just in Chicago.
Oh, I'm sorry. My apologies.
I was just in Chicago.
It's the drugs.
But yes, I was there last year. Yes.
Yeah. What did you think about Las Vegas as the site this year? Did you like it? Did you not? There's a lot of interesting stories coming out about how much got paid and things that happened there. How do you feel about Las Vegas hosting another WrestleMania anytime soon?
I don't think they should do it again anytime soon. I understand like the bottom line of any business is money, making money. I get that, but doing it to the detriment of your product is, it's counterproductive. Vegas was fun last year. Vegas was fun again this year, but there was obvious like decline in audience numbers, right? There are a lot of factors for that. Whether people didn't want to come back to Las Vegas, whether people didn't want to fly. There was an extreme lack, in my opinion, of international fans. They're usually everywhere. You see them. They're very noticeable. Extreme lack of international fans. And that's not really on Vegas alone. That's just, people not wanting to fly internationally here right now. But I don't think they should go back to Vegas anytime soon. No.
Yeah. I mean, TKO's in love with this city, though, man. They're in love with the money.
Yeah, it's their home. So I get it. But, give it a break.
I would agree. We need a little time to recover from that. But let me ask you about the fan interaction. And we saw a lot of incidents take place where, man, the performers just had a hell of a time at the MGM and elsewhere around the city. What can WWE do to make sure that those incidents don't happen again? And I don't know if it was on MGM or if it was on WWE or both, but man, things just got a little rough in there.
Higher security. That it's really that simple. What happened with MGM was pretty inexcusable for a company as large as they are, and this isn't their first rodeo, right? You know how the fans are. You know what happens. Higher security. The only security there was a hotel security, and they were overwhelmed. They didn't, there are casinos in there, so you can't really. It's not like you need a card to get into the hotel. It's open to anyone to come in because there's casinos. So you got people camped out there waiting at the elevators. You need security. You need security. I think Lance Storm just spoke about this, and I totally agree with him. You're putting, especially the female wrestlers, in a non-consensual space when you bombard them like that. And then, unfortunately, there are going to be people like CM Punk who react strongly to things like that. So,
yes, he does not. He does not take kindly to unruly fans. That's for sure.
I mean, and anyone else would protect their wife the same way. So I don't fault him. And they were putting in a impossible position, honestly. So that's on WWE. That's on TKO. So
no doubt about that. All right, let's take a break. And when we come back, we're going to talk about the new faces and the faces that have said goodbye. And boy, there are some stunners in there. Stick around. We've got a whole lot more on the Mark Hoke Show. Terrell Yeller from PWInsider.com. Check it out. And much more to roll in here. And by the way, chat box, promise you, I'm going to get to you. So hang in there. We'll be right back.
Making money isn't all that hard, but keeping it is tough. It's why I like having a One Nevada One checking rewards account. All I had to do was set up direct deposit with my job, and boom, I get paid 2 days early, just in time for the weekend. And when I do have to spend, I just make sure it's with my One Nevada debit card, and I get cash back. So get your money sooner and keep more of it with a One Nevada One checking rewards account.
Visit onenevada.org to learn more and open a One Checking Rewards account.
Our one focus is you.
Federally insured by NCUA.
Ready to hit the road in a new ride? One Nevada Credit Union believes your life should be rewarded. With a new or refinanced auto loan, One Nevada will let you skip payments for 90 days. You really can drive now and pay later. At One Nevada, we offer freedom from payment stress and more money in your pocket. So you spend less time worrying about financing and more time enjoying the drive.
Our one focus is you.
Check out the benefits of a One Nevada auto loan today at onenevada.org. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal opportunity lender.
Straight Talk Wireless presents Pickup Truck Wisdom.
Turns out talk isn't cheap. Just talking about affordability doesn't make things affordable. Straight Talk's had the same price since 2009. Plus, their Gold plan includes a Walmart Plus membership and $20 in Walmart cash when you activate. That's more than just talk.
Find us at straighttalk.com and Walmart. Straightforward, always. Valid through May 17, 2026. $20 in Walmart cash for Straight Talk Gold or Platinum Plan customers newly enrolling in Walmart Plus. Limit 1 per enrollment and account. Same price claim applies only to base monthly price of the $45 Straight Talk plan, beginning October 2009.
Now that Wendy's has these new biggie deals, everyone in the family can get what they're craving, from nugs to JBCs. The parental units can get an $8 biggie bundle, the eldest who think they're so grown can get a $6 biggie bag, and the little one who can do no wrong can get a $4 biggie bites. You know, assuming they have a credit card. No, I'm kidding. We take cash too. 4, 6, and $8 biggie deals for the whole family. Only at Wendy's.
Price of participation may vary. Single items at regular price. Prices may be higher in Alaska, California, and Hawaii.
Hearing loss makes it hard to stay connected over the phone. Now, a new caption telephone, CapTel, shows captions of everything a caller says. It's like closed captions for TV, but for phone calls. It's helping people nationwide reconnect to family and friends. Best of all, CapTel is available at no cost to people with hearing loss. Shipping and installation are free. Struggling with hearing loss? Call now to see if you qualify for a no-cost CapTel phone. Call 800-375-1175. That's 800-375-1175.
Spring into deals at Lowe's and let your inner gardening guru out. Get select 1-pint annuals for $1 to start planting. Plus, get a free additional Cobalt 40-volt 2-amp-hour battery when you buy a select Cobalt 40-volt trimmer and blower combo kit for your lawn. The smell of fresh-cut grass, new plants, and weekends in the yard? It's springtime, and our best lineup is here at Lowe's. Valid through 5/6. Annuals offer excludes Alaska and Hawaii. While supplies last. Selection varies by location.
101.5 FM KDAWN.
This is the Mark Hoke Show.
The Mark Hoke Show.
Here again, your host, Mark Hoke.
Yes, there is no dancing on the live stream today. Not today.
Is there usually dancing?
Dude, I do all sorts of stuff, but right now I'm just trying to keep my eyes open, man. My daughter gave me another cold, and this one's been but I'm still here with all of you. And I got to, by the way, in the chat box, we'll hear more from our good friend Javon Campbell, 8357. But he's saying the Hoaxer's drug of choice is special KDAWN. With this show, Steve Sanchez's show, which I do produce 6 to 8 p.m. Monday through Friday. Occasional traffic coverage, which I do, which is terrifying. And the most taxing, screening Sherman's phone calls. Yes, that guy on Steve Sanchez's show is pure torture. Pure torture. So thank you for recognizing that I have to deal with call screening as well as everything else I do here at KDAWN. God bless you, Javon. So new names coming up here, Terrell, as we start our new year-long cycle, and we've added Joe Hendry, Ethan Page, Ricky Saints, Saul Roca, Blake Monroe, and all three ladies of Fatal Influence, who they tore it up on SmackDown, man. They got it rolling. Do you like all these call-ups?
I do, especially Fatal Influence. Usually when you get NXT call-ups, traditionally in the past, no matter whether face, heel, it's big pops, right? Because it's a call-up. Look at the Revival at the time, who showed up and interrupted what at the time was one of the most over acts in the company in the New Day. Still big pop. These ladies came out, and within 5 minutes of airtime, as you said earlier, nuclear heat. That's special.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It is. And I'm a fan of all three. I think JC Jane is a total package, honestly. I don't think she has a weakness when it comes to this sports entertainment thing that WWE does. She's a total package. Yeah.
Yeah, to put him right in the ring with Rhea Ripley, Charlotte Flair, and Alexa Bliss, that is some faith in all of them. And by the way, also in the chat box, not the Tool Man says 100% agree with the Fatal Influence call up, and the reactions on SmackDown back that up. Yep, no doubt about that. Yeah, Ethan Page, we were at the Monday Night Raw, and Ethan didn't quite get the reaction I think he would have liked. But once everybody kind of got into it a little bit, Ethan is so underrated.
Yeah,
it's just every time he goes somewhere, everybody's like, "Oh, it's Ethan Page," and then all of a sudden you're like, "Oh, it's Ethan Page." In time, it's kind of weird.
He'll be fine. Put a mic in his hand one time, he'll be fine. He'll get the reaction that he needs. Ethan Page is really good at what he does, and I think you're right. He everywhere he goes, he's underappreciated almost, right? But that quickly changes because he's so good at what he does. So I expect the same here on Raw.
And no doubt. And now let's talk about the other side of things, because this time of year, unfortunately, people lose their jobs in WWE.
Right.
22 talents released. So we'll give you the list real quick. Nikki Cross, Alba Fire, Zoe Stark, Joe Gacy, Bo Dallas, Andre Chase, Dexter Lumis, Eric Rowan, Dante Chen, Aleister Black, Zelina Vega, Kairi Sane, Apollo Crews, Chris Sabin, Alex Shelley, Santos Escobar, Tyson DuPont, Tyreek Igwe, Chris Island, Tyra May Steele, Serena Linton, Trill London, Malik Blade, and Luca Crisafino. There's a lot of surprising names from top to bottom on that list. When you saw these come out, what was the one or two that absolutely shocked you?
I mean, it's probably the same as everyone else. Is Aleister and Kairi Sane. Honestly, I mean, these Kairi Sane was probably the most surprising to me. She was currently in the longest running story on Raw. When you consider the time she was in Damage Control and what happened with that and where we are now, that's a pretty long-term story, and there's no resolution to it.
Yeah.
Gone.
Yeah, I didn't get that one. First I'll get into the Wyatt Six, and that was tough to see for me, because I just think for some reason they just don't know how to deal with those guys in that story in WWE. They just haven't quite figured it out, and that is a great group of talent right there.
It is.
That just, like I said, I think there's just there's a vision there from Bray and his brother and other people that they just seems to clash with what WWE wants to do. And it's stunning that they let all five of them go. All five.
The Wyatt Six, they had a tremendous debut, right? A ton of heat behind them with that. I think the problem with that kind of gimmick, especially when it's a group, not just one person, it's hard to maintain that, because at some point, you got to lose, right? And there are 4 guys and 1 female in the group. In order for them to have any kind of meaningful story, you need another group that has 4 guys and 1 female in the group, and that just isn't normal. I really feel bad for Nikki Cross because she hasn't been able to interact with the women's division in 2 years, and I know what to say about that.
Yeah, it's those supernatural angles are really tough.
Yeah,
sometimes we're dealing with Danhausen right now, who's gone the completely other way. We're going to talk about that in a little bit, but the other ones, you look at Aleister Black and Zelina Vega. How do you go from possibly being the focal point of a main event WrestleMania storyline to being out the door? I mean, wow. Is there something behind the scenes that we don't know about with Aleister, or what do you think caused that decision?
Well, that's the thing. I think that Aleister and Kyrie is what is causing such a conflict in the IWC on social media. Does Triple H have anything to do with these releases? Is it his decision? Is it someone else's decision above him? Because these are people that are in active storylines on TV every week. You almost think there has to be something going on somewhere, right? Whether it's with the talent or it's with executives above creative. You got to think that I liken it to a TV show being canceled in between seasons. You don't get a resolution to those characters. That's not the norm in wrestling. You know what I mean?
Right.
So there's this conflict online, of whether it's Triple H, whether it's TKO, who knows? But it certainly seems weird for Triple H to cut someone who's an active story and someone he apparently, by all accounts, had plans for, big plans.
Yeah,
Aleister Black. So I mean, take that how you want it.
Yeah, I know it is just strange. Some other ones, boy, the Motor City Machine Guns. I had a great sit down with them at the WrestleMania Media Days, and boy, did they! I'm sorry, I'm just gonna say this. Boy, did they get the shaft.
Yeah,
I mean, come on, you bring those guys in, you let them win the championship in like the second or third match, and then they went poof.
Then that's it.
And I just don't understand when you've got 2 guys that talented. Why did they do this to the Guns?
I think the time had passed for them, and there was talk that they brought them in to keep them away from AEW. It certainly looks that way now, doesn't it?
Yeah,
it certainly feels that way. Outside of the tag title run, they didn't do much. They didn't do much at all, and I just said those are 2 incredibly talented wrestlers who can offer a ton inside the ring and out, and they're just gone.
Yeah,
so,
I honestly was surprised that they signed there. I guess it was, a chance to wrestle in WWE.
Yeah,
and see what happened. But yeah, they took a tough one there. Santos Escobar is a fascinating one to me as well, because if you guys remember back when he was a free agent temporarily, man, everybody went nuts and was throwing contracts at him, and AEW wanted him, and WWE said, hey, we want you there. And he came up with all these demands and everything else, got everything he wanted, and they did zip with him, 0. And now he's out. Really?
Yeah. It's a weird situation. I mean, his last match that he had that I saw, the 4-way in AAA, seemed a little bit off, which had a lot of people talking. I don't want to start any rumors here, but what was spoken online. Did he seem under the influence? Was he injured? Whatever it was, he definitely was off in the match. But even before that, like, they brought him back and nothing.
Yeah,
and nothing. So that yeah.
Yeah,
It's
that's
weird.
another head shaker.
Yeah, a lot of these are.
And there was one more name that I wanted to hit and that was Tyra May Steele.
Yeah.
From LFG, and Olympic medalist. And but I got to tell you, when I was watching LFG, she kind of rubbed me the wrong way. I don't know what it was. She just seemed like she was a little bit difficult to deal with, or I don't know. But that's interesting that they decided to let her go when you have a pedigree like that.
That might be your answer right there, though. If she came across as difficult to work with, you think?
I did. Yeah. I mean, it's just, I don't know. Like I said, there was just something that rubbed me the wrong way with her when I'd watch that show, and it's kind of hard to put a finger on, but she almost, I don't want to say entitled, but when you're an athlete of that level, you're going to have some confidence, a little bit of cockiness to you. Right. And I don't know, maybe that played out behind the scenes.
Hey, she's an Olympic gold medalist. We know the story. It's been told a few times. Kurt Angle, when he first came in, he sat down in the meeting and said, "I'm an Olympic gold medalist. I'll come in, but I can't lose."
Yeah.
But he quickly learned the business, and that went away. Maybe it just didn't go away for her. I'm not sure.
Yeah. So those were the WWE releases that hit this week. And now here's the fun question about these releases. Mm-hmm. Does Tony go after any of these people? I think that's the tricky part.
Yeah, I think the answer is yes. I think the obvious answer is yes. It's just who and how many. You can't sign everybody.
No, and certainly can't. I am really curious to see if he would have Aleister Black back in the fold. Zelina is somebody that I think would help the women's division over there.
Absolutely.
Kairi Sane is a perfect fit.
Yeah,
AEW. No doubt she would fit in there well, and Sabin and Shelley, sure. But the other tricky part when these releases happen to me is with the relationship that WWE has with TNA now. Is if you sign with TNA, you're to a point you're kind of re-signing with the same company, sorta.
Yeah, sorta.
So it's kind of weird to go to TNA after WWE lets you go because you could be interacting with WWE again.
Yeah, it certainly wouldn't be the first time. Jakara Jackson, she's now Mara Sade over there. Mustafa Ali is over there. It's certainly interesting with the working relationship between WWE and TNA. Maybe WWE just don't want them on their payroll,
maybe.
Yeah, So I think to your question of AEW and Tony Khan, I think he does sign a few gems there for him that can really help his company, especially with the women, in my opinion. Like you say, Kairi Sane, I think Zoe Stark would do really well over there as well.
Yeah, Zoe was one, of course, she trained at FSW here in Las Vegas, and she's got a banner up on the wall in there. She's in the FSW Hall of Fame, and I think that was somebody that, man, you think back with what she did in WWE is teaming with Trish Stratus and doing all these great programs, and then all of a sudden now she got hurt and WWE let her go. That's a tough one, but I think Zoe, I agree with you. I think Zoe would be a pretty good fit in AEW.
Yeah, I think so. I think she'd help that women's division out a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. So Vegas is rooting for you, Zoe. We promise you that. All right, let's get our last break in, and we're going to have more with Terrell Yeller from PW Insider. Amazing website. This guy does some pretty incredible work, too. You might want to go check it out while we're on the break. That'd be a good idea, wouldn't it?
There you go, PWInsiderElite.com.
Nice. All right, guys. So when we come back, we're going to take a look at some other big news going around the wrestling world, but I'm going to go off about Danhausen. I'm sorry. I'm going to do it. People may not be happy about it, but that's the way it's going to be. Stick around, everybody. We'll be right back on the Mark Hoke Show.
The first Top Shelf Country cruise promised big, and it delivered. Now the bar's set. If you were there, you know. If you weren't, it's time to get on board. Set sail aboard the Celebrity Summit in March 2027, where laid-back luxury meets country fun. We're talking toes in the sands of Bimini, fun in the sun in Key West and Cozumel, live band karaoke, trivia, bingo, and performances from Riley Green, Chris Young, Lauren Elena, Randy Hauser, and more. Lock in your cabin now at TopShelfCountryCruise.com.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/term. That's ethos.com/term.
I didn't ask to be thrown in the streets with nowhere to go, but I did ask for help, and Covenant House was there for me.
1 in 10 young adults will experience a form of homelessness this year. For these kids who didn't ask to be put in this unthinkable situation, Covenant House is there, providing hot meals, a safe place to sleep, medical care, and love.
They just really genuinely just wanted to help me succeed, and I'm succeeding.
To learn more, go to safeplacetosleep.org today.
Wendy's new Biggie Deals lets you choose whatever you're in the mood for. It's like a music mixing board of deals, and you're the producer. Go with some chill folk music with a JBC in the $4 Biggie Bite snack. Try the drum and bass of deals with a double stack in the $6 Biggie bag. Or go full-on sandwich symphony with an $8 Biggie bundle, the grand finale of snacking. And the best part? They all come with napkins. $4, $6, and $8 Biggie Deals how you want them. At Wendy's.
Price and participation may vary. Single items at regular price. Prices may be higher in Alaska, California, and Hawaii.
Straight Talk Wireless presents Pickup Truck Wisdom.
Trust is earned. That's why I've stuck with Straight Talk. Same price since 2009 on Verizon's 5G network. Cause shoot, anyone can make a promise. Keeping it for years, that means something.
Now plans starting at $25 a month with 4 lines. Find us at straighttalk.com and Walmart. Straight Talk Wireless. Straightforward. Always. Same price claim applies only to the base monthly price of our $45 plan from October 2009 to present.
It's time to spring into deals at Lowe's. Freshen up your yard with Stay Green Premium 2 cubic foot mulch. 5 bags for $10. Then get what you need to keep clothes, food, and dishes fresh with up to 35% off select major appliances. Plus, save an additional $100 on select laundry pairs. Our best lineup is here at Lowe's. Valid through 5/6. Mulch offer excludes Alaska and Hawaii while supplies last. Selection varies by location. See Lowe's.com for more details.
1015 FM KDAWN.
You're listening to the #1 professional wrestling radio show in Vegas, The Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Now, here again is Mark Hoke.
Yeah, that finger point on the live stream is all you're going to get out of me today. That's all I got, man. I'm fighting. Having kids, I swear to God. You just bring the worst stuff home sometimes. Unbelievable. We're on with Terrell Yeller from PW Insider. So make sure you head over and check that site out. I'm going to go off about Danhausen a little bit.
All right. That's what you got.
All right. Now, look, I know that Danhausen is taking WWE by storm. He was one of the top 3 merch sellers at WrestleMania this year. People love the dude.
Yeah.
But what happened to The Miz on SmackDown? No. I'm just going to say no. So they end up in a match. Kit Wilson's out there trying to help Miz. And all of a sudden, Danhausen's down and he throws a curse. And 2 towers of pyro go crisscross, hitting both of them. First off, who the heck put the pyro there? But did Danhausen magically make a pyro portal?
Magic.
to show up there, and then of course Miz eats the pinfall. Now, how long can they keep this up? We already had Kit get flamed by pyro a week ago. Look, I get the cursing and it's fun, but at the same time, when you're in I put up a tweet that I said no one had ever say anything bad about The Miz ever again.
Absolutely.
That guy has been put through some of the dumbest things in concepts you possibly come up with in WWE. And that was just like, I'm just thinking about Mike, and I talked to him a while back at WrestleMania a few years ago. It's got to be so frustrating for him to go through this guy that was the world champ. He main evented WrestleMania, and now he's getting crisscross pyro tower, Terrell.
Miz is the ultimate professional, right? He does everything he does with grace. It's great. I get your I get your thought process here. Well, first of all, people should have been stopped talking bad about Miz long ago. He's well since proven that he belongs and that he's a great asset and a awesome ambassador, no pun intended, awesome ambassador for WWE. I mean, what he's on TV, right? He's on TV every week. He's in a program with one of the top merch sellers right now. Who else would you have do it? You know, who else is going to take that role? And as goofy and as silly as it's supposed to make him look, make it look good. You know, make it look like it's supposed to look. I mean, who else is going to do that?
And that's my question. Who else is going to do that? Because at some point you got to move him forward if you're going to keep him in a wrestling ring. Do you think that Roman Reigns is going to do that? I mean, do you think? I mean, Punk might be willing to do something goofy with him, but how many performers would this really work with as we go on? And that's the thing that I'm wondering about: is the Danhausen act going to get stale real quick? Because it has the potential to be something that can end up being a flash in the pan a little bit.
Well, maybe. Well, those merch sales say it might not. They're going to find something.
Yeah.
You know, that return on investment is looking really incredible right now, right? I mean, you outsell Roman during WrestleMania week, and I get it. It makes sense. He's a character geared towards children in a company that's, for all intents and purposes, geared towards children, right? So, I mean, he fits. It's just funny the reaction to him at Elimination Chamber to now.
Yeah,
night and day.
Absolutely.
So it's working, but to your point, how long will it work, and what do you do next? That's on creative to figure that out.
Yeah, well, I wish him the best of luck on that. Have fun. That's gonna be ridiculous. And I'm just running down through some of my notes here too. Tiffany Stratton winning the U.S. title. Julia's out. Is there something up with them not liking Julia? What's the deal with her? Because she didn't even get to really defend that title at all.
She didn't, but that seems to be the case with that women's U.S. title, no matter who has it, right? I mean, I think the best champion so far has been Chelsea. But that's probably because of the gimmick she had with it. You know what I mean? It was fantastic, super entertaining. As far as Julia is concerned, I'm wondering if she's suffering from the same thing that I think Kenta suffered from when he was in the NXT. Does he not translate well in the WWE? Does Julia not translate well in WWE? Has she even been given that opportunity to translate well? That I don't know that she has. You know, she had a match down in NXT with Jordan Grace that was fantastic. That Jordan Grace just recently said they got in trouble for.
Yeah.
You know, it's fantastic. So we haven't seen that on the main roster yet. And I think that's where her bread and butter is, and they just haven't tapped into that yet. And I don't know why.
Well, there's another guy that just signed with WWE apparently, and that's Evil.
Yes.
From New Japan. And I just wonder how that's going to work out. It just seems like a lot of times the Japanese pros that come over to WWE just get pigeonholed and they don't get over the top. They'll, Shinsuke win some Intercontinental titles and stuff like that, U.S. title. But do you think that this is the right move for Evil?
I think Evil thinks it's the right move for him.
Probably with a paycheck.
Exactly. And that's what it boils down to. I can see him doing well in NXT. I'm not sure how he do on the main roster. I don't. He doesn't have that over the top sports entertainment personality, in my opinion, that would translate to WWE television. So it's gonna be an uphill battle, I think, to get him over with the WWE audience.
I think so too, and I was really surprised that he signed with them. But I don't know. Is there just an anti-AEW segment with the guys from Japan right now, or what? And I don't understand why, because Tony's done a great job pushing them.
Yeah, he has. I just recently started watching AEW again, but I have heard that what they call the big three, the big three signing from Japan has been going well. So I mean, it's got its money, right? You go where the money is, and if WWE is going to offer you more money, then you go and you see what you can make happen.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, let me take a look at some of the comments in the chat box, by the way. This always is entertaining. Let's see. So Javon Campbell in there was talking about the original pitch for Aleister Black to be the man on the other end of Orton's phone call would have been over instead of Pat McAfee. They release AB and his wife as a package deal. Whiskey Tango Trot. Yeah, that's.
I agree. Aleister would have been great in that role. I absolutely agree.
Yep. And let's see what else we have. This was about the Wyatt Six from Not the Tool Man from Hollywood Horror Nights, which is at the Universal horror show over here, and having a whole attraction to being released in 6 months. A little crazy. Yeah, it is a little crazy.
That thing was profitable too. So
yeah. And here's one. You planning on going off on Danhausen, Hokester? I think he knew you are cursed, Hoke. That's why you got the cold.
Hey, Javon might be on to something. I don't know.
Yeah, I know Javon's always on something. I'll tell you what. But also, yeah, this one too. We were talking about the fan conduct a while ago. Booker T said some fan followed him to the bathroom, and he also said he wasn't even involved with WrestleMania. That didn't make much sense. Yeah, I forgot that Booker T got followed to the bathroom as well.
Apparently, Sean Waltman did, if I remember correctly, as well. Some of these people just don't know boundaries. Yeah.
No, they don't follow Booker T to the bathroom, man. Booker will mess you up. I've hung around Booker.
Crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't do that. Let's see a couple other things here. Mance Warner, by the way, won the PW Revolver World title last night. So apparently his step away from TNA is going okay. We saw Steph DeLander at the House of Glory show interfere in the women's or get involved after the Women's World Championship match. So those two appear to be landing on their feet pretty well.
I mean, yeah, there are several examples of people who, get released from one of the big companies and they do well on the independent scene. I feel like the independent scene is still thriving. I feel like wrestling is as popular as ever within our core audience. Really, so I mean, there's money to be made traveling the world, working the indies. It's not the end of the world. WWE isn't the only circus in town anymore.
You know what I'd love to see Matt Cardona do? He should start his own organization up.
Really?
Like a Lost Souls promotion. I mean, look, you see Matt go out there and he is willing to share his tips and all the things that he did to rebuild his career, and he made a ton of money out there.
Yeah,
and there are so many great people out there that are on the independents now. But you almost wonder if there's room. I mean, I know MLW is out there in NWA, but you almost feel like there would be room for another organization. I mean, if I'm MLW, maybe I'm jumping on some of these people and making a push. I mean, you get Cross and Aleister Black, people are going to watch that match.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially with them liking Aleister Black to Karrion Kross, thinking that, he pretty much took Karrion Kross's spot and gimmick.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, in WWE. So, yeah, I think there's a lot of interest that can be drummed up with that.
Oh, you get Zelina and Scarlett, too.
Yeah, there you go. I mean,
see, this is what I do. I make everybody else money but me. Well, we got about a minute to go. Terrell, tell everybody a little bit about your work at PW Insider, what the website's all about, and where everybody can find you.
All right. Well, PWInsiderElite.com. That's where we are. Journalists that break news. Some people are happy about that. Some people not so happy about.
Yeah, like Zelina wasn't happy.
Right. I mean, I understand her point I understand everybody's point in that, but it is what it is. People have a job to do, and we do the job, right? and not everybody's gonna like it. But yeah, you can subscribe, pwinsiderelite.com, and that's where we are.
There you go. Yeah, and that was interesting too. Zelina was not happy that Sean Russ Sapp announced her release before she got to do it, but that's what we run into as journalists, man. You get a story dropped on your lap. If you don't put it out, somebody else is going to do it.
Somebody else will.
You know, so there's not much you can do there. But so I feel for her, but that's kind of the way it goes. But man, Terrell, I want to thank you for coming on the show and helping carry me through this.
No problem.
I'm going to be bouncing my head off the counter here pretty shortly, but appreciate you coming on. Great to meet you. Made a new friend.
Absolutely.
And can't wait to talk to you again soon.
All right, anytime. Let me know. I appreciate you having me on. Thank you.
You got it. And don't forget to follow us on X at Mark Hoke Show, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok at The Mark Hoke Show. We have some terrific stuff we'll be putting up. And that Kendal Gray interview is up there if you want to hear from Kendal again. And I wouldn't blame you if you did. She's pretty awesome. And a whole lot more. Thank you for putting up with me today, Las Vegas, and around the world, wherever you're listening. Certainly appreciate it. I'm going to go die now, and we'll call it a day. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time on The Mark Hoke Show.